Did you remember to dress Raijo this week in fantasy?
Really? That's the first question you're going to say to me after a game like that? What? What are you just trying to avoid the obvious of talking about how this team did tonight?
Jersey guy, just humor me here.
I think I dressed him. Why do you ask? I like to have him in the lineup for nostalgia purposes.
Did you know that with the game not quite over yet in St. Louis, Ryan Johansson has 11 goals at least after tonight?
11 goals? Oh my God! Avs fans should hang a banner. Preds fans would love to have 11 goals out of Ryan Johansson at this point in the season.
Okay, here we go again. Preds lose 5-4 in overtime to the Detroit Red Wings Friday night inside Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. You didn't really think that the Preds could just go unbeaten in overtime, did you? Maybe I got a little guilty of assuming that that was going to happen. We'll get to overtime, but this game was such a mess. This team is getting close to being in a mess after doing well so long. They've regressed back to the mean and have fallen back to earth a little bit. Thank God it wasn't 3 losses in a row in regulation. They, thank God, got a point out of this one when I'm guessing that there were 1-goal close games earlier in the season that we would have loved for them to have gotten a point in. But considering that they played much better than Detroit in parts of this game, you still would have liked them to have gotten the 2 points. Just before 4 minutes into the opening frame, Preds get a power play, but you wouldn't know it because first it's JD Comfort to Andrew Kopp, who Saros is able to make a great save on, and I'm thinking, okay, this early game, Russ, shake it off. Preds go down the other way and get a power play goal. And they would get some chances, but they wouldn't convert. And guess what happened before the power play expires? Oh, look, the Preds let the Red Wings go the other way again on the penalty kill. This time, it's the Red Wings captain, Dylan Larkin, who would make the Preds pay. He makes no mistake, and just like that, the Preds are off on the wrong foot, giving up a shorthanded goal on their first power play of the game. Red Wings up 1-0. Credit where credit is due, as halfway through the first period, you've got Gustav Nyquist hungry. He's been on a cold streak. He goes into the Red Wings zone after the puck behind the net, chips it out front to Philip Forsberg, and the man who should have gotten his 17th of the season to put the game away against Dallas. Yes, underneath it all, I'm still stressed out about how the frickin' they lost that game. But Forsberg makes up for it. He gets it here and ties this game at 1. And in that moment, I'm thinking, yes, boys, yes. I don't want to always rely on that number 1 line, but when you guys are clicking, it seems to move this team. Get more of that in the Red Wing zone, please. And then just over 5.5 left to go in the first, Philip Tomasino goes to the penalty box. And I proceed to watch the Preds, as I'm sure you did too, run a fire drill in their own zone. Red Wings passing it around. And the puck winds up on old Blackhawks nemesis, Patrick Kane. And before he even takes the shot, all of us, I'm sure you did too, were resolved that, oh goody, this is where the Red Wings take the lead again. And then somehow, some way, UC Saros is able to dive over with a little bit of his glove and snare it and prevent him from going in. His teammates right in front of him, Jeremy Lauzon, Ryan McDonough, are stunned. I'm unable to mutter a word or even tweet about it for a good 5 to 10 seconds. I was all ready to have that save be the benchmark and what I would surround this Preds fan reaction, assuming they had won. But I guess looking back, we can be thankful for that save. That's the reason the Preds even got a point out of this game. Oh yes, I'm pointing that out now because in case I don't get to circle back to it later, Preds fans who are blaming Saros for any of the goals tonight really need to dial it down a notch, okay? I guess I'll get this out of the way now because obviously in a loss like this, you're frustrated. And I'm frustrated too that they weren't able to play better. The defense needs to be better in front of Saros. I honestly wouldn't have played Saros tonight. as I said after the Carolina game, why did you reverse what was working for you, Bruno? Askarov or Lankinen, if healthy, should have gone tonight. Saros should get tomorrow because obviously after this game goes overtime, you can't play Saros tomorrow in Washington. He has to rest until Chicago next Tuesday. And honestly, I think the question needs to be posed. I think I've addressed this earlier in the season, that Saros needs to get random nights off. Like, I know he was hitting his stride there, and every game that wasn't a back-to-back, we're playing him, but we can't be doing that. Saros needs to have the random night off every now and then so that we rest him, we don't run him out there. He can't be playing 60-plus games by the end of this season. We need to be able to count on our backup, either Lankinen, I'm assuming, unless he gets injured, to pick up the slack, give Saros a breather now and then. But anyways, amazingly, Saros makes that save. Red Wings, though, would persist. Under 30 seconds left in the first period. Red Wings on a rush. Bad break, bad odd man rush. Rasmussen gets it over to Wallman. Josi tries to sprawl to prevent the pass. Saros cannot make the save as he's left hung out to dry. And the Red Wings are back in the lead, up 2-1 after the first period. I guess it can be a little understated, and I don't want to overshadow. I'll give the Preds a little bit of credit that second period was probably their best period of hockey since the win streak. Because if only they could have played like they did in the second period, in the first, or some semblance of the third, they would have gotten 2 points in that game. But you don't win a game on a period alone. The Preds outshot the Red Wings 12-4. They outscored them 2-0. Beautiful work by Gustav Nyquist to have a 2-on-1 shorthanded with Colton Sissons and not score, but still be hungry enough that after the puck goes the other way, you still bring it back down on a solo breakaway saying you do it yourself, and you tie the game. And then Philip Forsberg, off of a beautiful steal and deflection from behind Alex line by Tommy Novak, gets it to Philip Forsberg, who gets his second of the game, his 18th of the season. And I thought the Preds were in business because that winning 13 of 17, 14 of 18 kind of like masqueraded the problems that are on this team, that Saros was carrying them for a bit. And yes, here we go, going back to the fact that maybe Saros is being overplayed just a bit. There's nothing wrong with him. He's still a good goalie. We've seen this enough from him, but he just needs to be rested a bit. So anyway, in this game, after Forsberg made it 3-2, I thought the Preds were in business. Can't slack them too much. They were up 3-2 after 2. I thought, hey, this team isn't just going to sit back there and be home and cool and assume the 2 points. They're going to work for those 2 points in the third period, right? Oh yeah, and let me not forget the fight late in the third period between Alex DeBrincat and Roman Josi. I don't know what DeBrincat said to Josi to make him want to fight him, because Josi in his career only has 3 career fights to his name, and there wasn't much of a fight, but it was enough that both got sent off for fighting for 5 minutes. And I'd like to think, hopefully, Josi was like, it's Alex DeBrincat. He's Detroit's top scorer, next to top scorer. Okay, I'll take that fight. Because if it was somebody else, say a second, third, or fourth liner, I would hope Josi does not submit to that fight. Because DeBrincat, one of Detroit's best scorers, Josi, one of the Preds' best defensemen to hold a key lead in the third period. Okay, Josi, I guess he could take that fight. But if it's anybody else other than DeBrincat, maybe Dylan Larkin or maybe Patrick Kane, I'd hope he would say no. Almost 7 minutes into the third period, Philip Forsberg manages a partial breakaway, looking to put the Preds home and cool, up by 2 goals and get the hat trick, but David Perron, playing defense for the Red Wings, prevents him from doing so. Then at almost the halfway point of the third period, almost 2 minutes apart from one another, Alex DeBrincat, fresh from sitting for his fight with Roman Josi, and then Wallman gets his second goal of the game, and before you know it, the Red Wings have the lead on the Preds, who were looking to get a desperate 2 points. The Red Wings are not this great team that they were projected to be at the preseason. They have been struggling. Nashville should not have this much of a problem in their building. Hopefully not much less their own building back in Nashville when they play Detroit again later this season. But to their credit, the Preds do not go away. And I fall into that trap again of thinking, oh, they are going to be okay. Because a minute after Wallman got his second goal of the game, Preds swarming in front of Alex Lyon's net, I think Philip Forsberg is going to finally get the hat trick. But no, close second, Gustav Nyquist gets his second goal of the game. Two Preds players having a chance for a hat trick. His second goal of the game ties this game at 4. Things looked home and cool eventually as we wound down under 2 minutes, under a minute, that this was going to go to overtime. Then the Red Wings give me PTSD back to Saturday when they almost scored under 10 seconds left to have another walk-off win where the Preds would get no points. But thank God it doesn't go in. It's 4-4. After 60 minutes, can the Preds maybe pull a rabbit out of the hat again? In overtime, Bruno goes to Old Faithful of Ryan O'Reilly, Philip Forsberg, and Roman Josi to start this game in overtime. And unfortunately, no goal for that line. 10, 20, 30, even a minute in. It's like, okay, well, maybe they can get it to a shootout like they did against Chicago. The Preds would get 2 shots on goal through a couple of chances, but it's the Red Wings who get the winner with their first shot on goal just over 2 minutes into overtime. Red Wings in the Preds zone. Looks like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'd have to see the replay to see if I could see it from another angle. I don't think Saros was able to see it. Ryan O'Reilly might have been providing a partial screen. Lucas Raymond takes a shot that Saros doesn't see before it gets by him. Roof, top of net, in. Red Wings win this one. Walk off 5-4. Preds very lucky in the end to get a point, even though at times in this game it seems like they should have been able to work hard enough through the 60 minutes to get 2 points and give the Red Wings nothing. So yeah, I'm not going to dwell on this game much longer. The Preds have to play again tomorrow in Washington. Fortunately, it's not a long road trip. Fortunately, the Preds can sleep in their hotel in Washington tomorrow and hopefully get a good rest. I would assume that everybody show up again tomorrow. Maybe some lineup tweaks. The only person I would expect not to show up, only because he shouldn't have to after trying to play his butt off and you can't really run him out there exhausted tomorrow, is UC Saros. If Lankinen's healthy, he plays. You send Askarov back down to Milwaukee. If Lankinen's still sick, then play Askarov tomorrow and give him some more NHL experience for the eventual situation when you decide what's going to happen in net for the future of this team. If Saros is the answer or if Askarov is the answer. There needs to be some lineup tweaks, okay? I would expect it shouldn't be that hard with the promises that this team has showed in the Dallas game. And we're not going to even worry about the Carolina game because that was a game where you were worked out from start to finish. You had some bright spots in this Detroit game. Use that as you go into Washington tomorrow. And hey, keep in mind, Preds fans, I hope this roster is keeping in mind that they're pissed off going in tomorrow. And guess who else is ticked off? Not just for the fact that they lost to Nashville when they were probably, arguably, the better team 2 weeks ago and got no points out of it. Washington! Washington got their doors blown off of them in Long Island. And they're going to have to travel home tomorrow. So these two teams are going to be both pissed off playing this game tomorrow. So maybe it'll be a hell of a test to see, can you play a pissed off team in their building and force them to lose 2 in a row, and not you be the one that loses 2 in a row after looking so promising right before Christmas, and that Dallas game being something of a psyche changer, if that's a thing. It's like, give me something positive to look forward to in 2024, Preds, by ending this season on a high note. Because I know what I have with the Titans, okay? They're going to be a draft team, but at least they have their quarterback. What does this team have right now to give me something positive through now 46 games after today and 45 games after tomorrow? So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching, as always. If you're a non-Preds fan here to watch in my misery, congratulations. I hope you can enjoy this video for however minutes I talk to tonight. If you're a member of Preds Nation, thank you for helping me therapeutically talk this out to you, to my camera in my basement suite. And if you want to interact with me at any time during Preds Nation, you can always find my social media by clicking on a channel name. As I run out of energy with another frustrating Preds loss, tell all your friends about Redemption, about this channel, as I slowly continue to grow. And we'll see if this team has a little bit of self-respect to send all of us and themselves with some positive energy into 2024 by winning in Washington tomorrow.